You know that feeling, right? That buzz of modern anxiety that just seems to be everywhere? Well, today we're going to dig into something really special. It's a philosopher's guide, an ancient cure really for this very modern problem.
I mean, just look at the world we live in. It's kind of wild. We've got supersonic jets, we've been to space, we have antibiotics that have literally doubled our lifespan, we've unlocked the power of the atom. But there's this flip side, isn't there? That same atomic power led to weapons of mass destruction. We're facing these horrible drug epidemics and this deep sense of despair. It's a huge contradiction.
And this is the exact paradox that the philosopher Hermogenes identified as the real sickness of our time. He basically asked the question we're all thinking. If we're so advanced, why are so many of us so miserable?
What's really fascinating is that when people came to him for help, they couldn't even put a name on their suffering. They'd just say, when the thing gets me, I'm not myself. The thing. Isn't that a perfect, kind of chilling name for it? This vague, modern dread that just ambushes you out of nowhere and leaves you in a total panic?
And here's the genius of the thing. It fuels itself. It's this vicious cycle. See, it starts with a symptom, right? Maybe your heart starts racing. Then you feel that, and it sparks fear. That fear makes your muscles clench up, which of course makes the physical symptoms even worse, and before you know it, that fear has snowballed into pure panic. You're completely trapped in the loop.
So, here's the real kicker. Our natural instinct to fight back, to push it away, is exactly what feeds the beast. The harder we struggle against the anxiety, the stronger it gets. So if fighting is a losing game, how on earth do you win?
The answer is so simple it almost sounds wrong. You stop fighting. That's it. You don't resist the feeling. Instead of putting up this huge wall to block it, you just open the door and let it pass through. It goes against everything your body is screaming at you to do, but that is the secret.
Hermogenes puts it so plainly. He says, don't be a hero. Don't struggle against something that's bigger than you in that moment. You know, this idea of non-resistance is a huge deal in yogic philosophy. It's called ahimsa, which means non-violence. And that includes being non-violent with yourself, with your own mind. You just let the wave wash over you.
He tells this brilliant little story that makes it all click. Imagine two swimmers trying to cross a raging river. The first guy fights it head on. He tries to swim straight across, struggles like crazy, and gets totally exhausted and defeated. But the second swimmer, he's smart. He doesn't fight the river. He uses its power, swimming with the current, and lets it carry him safely to the other side.
And let's be super clear about this. This is not giving up. This isn't weakness or surrender. Hermogenes says this is actually the highest form of action. It's about being strategic, being intelligent. It's about not wasting all your energy fighting a battle you can't win so you can save it for what actually matters.
Okay, so this whole stop fighting thing, it's not just a quick fix for a panic attack. It's actually just the first step on a much bigger, more holistic path. It's part of a whole system for how to live a life with real inner peace. And this path is like a complete toolkit for your well-being. It starts with what's called vichara, which is just radically honest self-knowledge, looking at your own mind without judging it. Then there's hygiene, not just for your body, but emotional hygiene, being really careful about what you watch and listen to. Obviously, a balanced diet is in there to take care of your body. And finally, seva, or selfless action, finding a real sense of purpose by helping others.
Now this is where things get really challenging. Hermogenes brings up this quote from Pope Paul VI, who just flat out said, "The world is sick." And that makes you think, what if your anxiety isn't just your problem? What if it's a perfectly logical response to a world that's kind of gone off the rails?
I mean, thinkers like Erich Fromm have said that being well-adjusted to a sick society isn't a sign of health at all. So it forces you to ask this really deep question. If being normal in our world means being stressed out and anxious all the time, is getting back to normal even a good goal?
So, Hermogenes lays out a totally different map. Step 1 is the clinical cure, where you get the intense symptoms to fade away. But you don't stop there. The next step is to reach what he calls high-level normality, a state of peace and stability that's way beyond the anxious normal of society. And from that foundation, the real journey starts, the path to true self-realization and freedom.
And this all leads to the most powerful idea of all, a complete reframing of what anxiety even is. What if it's not a disease we need to destroy? What if that feeling of anguish is actually your soul yearning for something deeper? For perfection? What if it's not a sickness at all, but a voice calling you to start the journey back home
to who you really are.